And in South, we are moving 200,000 police, 200,000 army, 200,000 DSS into South. Believe me, nobody will commit crime.
Welcome to Political Arena on Noble TV Live, and today we have a guest right here in the studio with us, and we'll be looking at electoral violence. Dr. Chidi Peters, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so let's look at the just concluded governorship and State House of Assembly election. What's your take on the stories we heard? We heard about killings and some part of the state. We heard about ballot boxes that were snatched. We also saw a video where ballot papers were set ablaze. So what's your take on it? Do you actually think INEC has succeeded in giving us another promise and fail? Because during the presidential election, people tend to call it promise and fail. So what's your take generally on the just concluded election?
Well, each time we make INEC the scapegoat of our failures, of individual failures, collective failures, political failures, particularly from political elites. There are a lot of things that need to be legislated in this country by legislators, and they are not looking towards that. From the gist of this electoral process in this country, no election in this country that have not witnessed violence, killing one or the other, including the all-hallowed 1993 election or 91 election, or the one that brought Abiola in. That was supposedly brought Abiola in. We said it was a hit-free, free and fair election. But to me, there was violence too during that period. There was just killing during that period. And now, from 1999 to now, no election in Nigeria that has been hit-free. There have been one violence or the other. And of course, the elites are those behind that. Because the elites, because of their selfishness and because of their dangerous desire to occupy political position as an enterprise, they keep sponsoring violence, sponsoring killings, sponsoring all sorts of heinous crimes in our Nigerian politics. And again,
okay, before you go further, I talked about INEC promising and failing. Now, I was thinking you were going to cut me there to say, no, we don't put the blame on INEC. So do you really agree with me in totality that INEC is to be held responsible?
Like I said, we make INEC scapegoat in our failures.
Okay.
I think I addressed that. Because the legislators are supposed to legislate on how electoral process should be done in this country. Number one is, there's no way Nigerian land has less than 500,000 police officers in Nigeria and less than 500,000 army, and combined with civil defense and all of them, they're not even up to 2 million people. And you want them to go and police 200 million people? It's not possible. So now legislators should look inwards into how to segment Nigerian electoral processes. In as much as we have not advanced to the point of using the online voting system, let us segment it. Politically, we have siege of precursors in Nigeria. Let's assume it is a turn of Southeast to conduct election. Okay. You move all the forces in that area. That means in every street, on every road, in every place, armed security men are there.
Okay, so you believe in zoning?
In the conduction of election. Yeah. So armed policemen are there, armed army are there, armed security agencies are there. So there's no way going to commit crime, you escape.
Okay, you're talking about armed policemen, armed forces, and the military. Now, what would you say? Because we saw videos of some military men being harassed by these political thugs. Now, would you say that the military have failed?
The military have not failed. They are overwhelmed. For example, now, if they say, okay, it's the turn of South. In South, we have 6 states. And in South, we are moving 200,000 police, 200,000 army, 200,000 DSS into South. Believe me, nobody will commit crime. Nobody will even interfere in anything. And when we are done with South this week, the upper week or in 2 weeks' time, we move to another zones. But that is only the time we will seek regular elections. We are talking about even killings that happen in Lagos, killings in Port Harcourt, and so on and so forth. Electoral malpractice here and there. So that is the only way we can curb it. But because of our political elite selfish gains, they don't want to do that because they want to continue to perpetuate crime in this country.
Okay, so how would you rate the just concluded governorship election, noting that the turnout was very low compared to the presidential election? How would you rate it generally, in your own opinion?
Nigeria were disappointed with INEC. At the same time, INEC were not in the field to cause the electoral malpractices. They are the political elites that sponsor talks to cause electoral malpractices.
All right, Dr. Peters, do you think Nigeria can get to that stage or that level where we can have a free, credible, and transparent election?
Definitely, we can only get that when the political elites stop hanging around ministries looking for 100 million constituency projects, when they stop looking for contracts and face that legislative function as a priority and legislate on affairs that concerns the general gains of Nigerians. Only when that is done by those who are legislators, by those who are also in government, who are looking for SA, will be given a private jeep of 70 million. And of course, the SSA will have like 2 or 3. And of course, the deputy SSSA will keep consuming money and things like that. Okay. By the time we focus on the things that matters in this country, by the time we prioritize the issue of electoral process in this country, we will never get it right. Until then, we'll get it right.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Peters, for your time.
Thank you very much, Lillian.
Okay, we've been talking about electoral violence right here on Noble TV Live. Thank you so much for watching. I am Lily Kelvin. See you next time.